Lancaster City kept a cool head amongst intense heat to defeat Hyde United 3-0 here at the Project Solar Stadium.
Yeah, really professional performance, I thought. I mean, even 11v11, I thought we were the better of the two sides. We've obviously gone a goal up through a set play. And I always think when you go to 10, it just galvanises teams. And to be fair to Hyde, and I always love coming here because I think it's a great football club. I think it's a really big football club. The people are always great with us when we come here. They've got great manager, good squad. But I don't think they can have any complaints even with the sending off. And I thought after that we just became very clever and cute with how we played. Obviously, the second goal was important to us and was probably the turning point in the game. I think actually the third goal just broke their hearts a little bit, and that just became a bit more of a formality. Almost the game died at 3-0. So bearing in mind the heat and the conditions, it's so tough out there for the lads today. But it's another win. It's another tough place to come. These were a playoff side around the playoffs all last year. In fact, they were right up at the top, weren't they, for the first sort of 30 weeks of the season. So it's just another one. It's just another one ticked off, and that's how we're trying to manage it at the moment. Just focus on the next one. We'll focus on Fylde now. We'll try and patch a few up, but to come here and win 3-0, another clean sheet. I mean, I think it's 5 in 7 is the clean sheets. So built on solid foundations, of course, but the chances we're creating, crazy the amount of chances we're creating. And yeah, there's not much not to like about the performance today. Great support as always away from home. So yeah, we'll enjoy our trip back up to 61, the M6, and we'll prepare for Fylde.
So many players we could pick out, but I'm really pleased for Charlie Bailey got that third goal. Really deserved it, working hard in that final third with Jake Connolly.
I thought they're both excellent, and they've been, they've been the two talisman, haven't they, in terms of the two forwards, and it's a really tough decisions to make there because Dom, we know what Dom's all about. He's done ever so well. He's not really done anything wrong, but it's just the form of those two. It's like Nico listened to the MPL podcast, and they were saying they were really concerned that where we find the goals from without Nico playing. Well, Nico's hardly played, and that's not no disrespect to Nico, but he's found it tough to dislodge them two because they've been so good, and that's all right. And he just started to get himself back in, but when we can turn to them two again and to Dom off the bench, thought it was great. And Dom will get his chance. He'll probably play on Tuesday against Fylde, and then we'll assess things again before we play Marsk. So yeah, Charlie, everybody knows how good he is. Everybody knows when he's in form, he's probably, he can play in so many different positions, he can do so many different things, but technically I don't think there's many better than Charlie Bailey in the Northern Premier League. And we've got a nice balance between the raw power of Jake and the guile and the craft of Charlie, and then they get backed up by, again, either sort of power and pace and ruthlessness and strength with Brad Carroll, or we can put somebody behind them who can craft a little bit. So, I mean, if there's ever an indication of why we needed such a big squad this year to mitigate what happened last year, because we were heading towards that, a couple of weeks ago. So I think we got it right with recruitment. I've said that before, but we have clearly got it right with recruitment, and we're able to move things around, pick teams for games, and try and make sure we've got the fittest players on the pitch every Saturday as well.
Somebody we haven't talked about this season is David Norris. Made his 4th appearance this afternoon, came back in incredible shape, as he always does, but carrying a bit of an injury, needed some match fitness. He joins a varied midfield and attack where we don't have two of the same type of player. We don't have two now Calverthwaite's, we don't have two Brad Carrolls. How much of a challenge is it for you to put that combination of playing styles together for each fixture?
Well, we do a lot of work, as you know, so we try and fit what we've got and the fittest players into those positions. I mean, Noz is not quite there in terms of his fitness yet, and that's just because he missed so much of pre-season, then got this knock. So we've been trying to build him up. Again, is that a chance for him to play on Tuesday night? Possibly. But we know what an asset he is. I mean, he makes a third goal. If you bring that goal back a couple of phases, he's that keen, he's that much of a winner to win the first contact that he does enough to put the midfielder off. It then drops off his shoulder onto 𝗕𝗋𝗄, and 𝗕𝗋𝗄 does the pass, and then we're off in the final third. So we need those options. We need those players, and there's times where, because I've got so much faith and trust in him to manage parts of the game, I knew putting him on for 25 minutes would probably get us over the line, because he demands, Sam Bailey's fallen over the ball at the end there, and Noz is fuming, and that's all right, because that's a standards thing. Same with 𝗙𝗍𝗄𝗏, same with Simon Grand. You've got these players now that won't let these standards drop, and that is has a direct effect on results, you know, come match day. So yeah, he will get his opportunity, and the more players we can get fit and the more players we can get in form, the better the competition is, and that's okay.
We seem to talk about pitches a lot. 𝗙𝗪𝗄𝗹𝗆 not as fluid on the grass at the Giant Axe. Atherton's sticky, but here at Hyde, one of the best synthetic surfaces around. The last couple of weeks there's been calls from other managers to rip them up due to the injuries. Where do you stand, and is it based on the quality of the pitch?
We're never going to rip them up, are they? They make fortunes, so, and I'm pretty sure that if our board got offered one tomorrow, they'd probably put one down at the Giant Axe, which would upset me, but you know, I'd have one next to it on the junior pitches, of course. But I'm a bit of a purist. I'm a bit of an old-fashioned football manager at heart, so I would much rather be played on grass. It's just, we evolve, don't we? The game evolves. The circumstances, the factors that we have to deal with evolve. It's probably kept this club alive because they had all kinds of problems, didn't they, years and years ago. So it undoubtedly will supplement their budget. It's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. I just don't want to play on them every week, you know. And all of a sudden, you know, you look at 𝗙𝘗𝙧, we're getting one now, and I get it from a commercial perspective, a business perspective. It's not ideal from a football perspective for me, but personal preference, isn't it? I mean, the problem is I've got several players that are 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. So I can't really have them on 3Gs every week. So if the league was like that, we'd need to re-recruit probably. But as it is, we can give certain players a rest now before we play on one again.
So the fixtures are coming thick and fast. As you say, we've got 𝗙𝗪𝗄𝗧 in the FA Cup next weekend, filed before that in the Lancashire FA Trophy. As it stands, we'll play at least 7 games in September. Now, you said 10 points from the opening 6. We beat that. We got 11 points. What's the next target?
Not telling you. They know the target, and it's a good start to the target. But we're working in a 5-game cycle now. We've awfully got off to the best starts. Let's not be daft. Let's not get carried away. Let's just say we've had a great start, and we're now second, I think, in the league. And somebody's going to have to chase Radcliffe, aren't they? Somebody, you know, because at the moment they're going to be up by Christmas. So we need to, you know, somebody's got to apply that pressure. Why can't it be us? Why can't we have a belief in a real understanding in the dressing room that we can achieve something? I've said to them there, as long as we don't drop our standards when we play, you know, a Lancashire Cup game or an FA Cup game, I've got full of confidence about them, full of confidence about the team that they are, the structure and the way that we work and do things. I think we play a very unique way sometimes, and that's why we're talking about Matty Clark before, and Matty's had to be a bit patient, but it's actually really difficult to come into our side and our way of working because it's so specific and unique, some of the things that we do. So, but that's been the case for a while. Look at 𝗙𝗪𝗄𝗧 when he came to the club. It took 𝗙𝗪𝗄𝗧 like 3 or 4 months really to understand what we did and how we did it and his role within that. So that's okay. But one game at a time. We have a target for every 5 league games. 3 points in the first one's as good as you get. So let's just worry about these 2 cup games, Ilkeston on the Saturday after, and then we'll see where we are.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.